So what we have going on today is we have the Honda CR-V, Chevy El Camino, turned into one glorious vehicle. We get the clear coat on this thing today. Also, I do a lot of welding, and before this video gets started, I wanted to remind you that you still have time. If you want to support me, my shop, and the channel, you can enter to win the 1965 GMC 2500 shop truck, the truck that has been the MVP for me and my neighborhood throughout the storms and everything. Go ahead and hit the link down below to see more details on that, and if you win, I will ship it to you for free. So go check that out and let's get started.
And now, you're watching the old dusty abandoned building perfect for a new Halloween store channel of YouTube. Welcome to BodeVision.
Hey, so what is up and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me yet again on another video. So we got the El Camino here with the Burger King paint job. I thought that was funny. Good comment on the Burger King paint job. I like it. I like that. I'm the king riding around with this thing. So what we got going on, in the last video you saw the hours that I put into all the taping and all the coloring. So that was the end of last week. I had a lot of stuff going on this past weekend, so I'll get to that in a little bit. But what we have going on here to start off this week is we are going to be clear coating this thing. This is the easy part. All of the masking and all of the colors and all of the layers and the base coat and coverage and blah blah blah, the masking and remasking, all of that's behind us. All I'm going to do now is knock out 2 coats of clear. The first one I'm not going to go too extremely heavy because I went and I knocked off all the high edges with a 2000 grit sandpaper, so a lot of the surface is really smooth. So I'm worried that it's going to run if I go too thick. So the first one is going to be kind of like a mid to wet coat to almost lay down like a glue foundation. Then the next coat on top of that is going to land on that sticky coat, hopefully have a very minimal orange peel factory texture look. If no orange peel at all, I'll be cool with either one of those. I just cannot wait to see this thing shining. So let's go ahead and get that clear coat mixed up, lay down 2 coats, and get this thing knocked out. So now that we got that clear done and it is looking so wet, phenomenal, let's take a really good look at this thing, then we will pull off all of the tape and other masking materials. Dude, this thing, look how wet, shiny, glossy, all of the adjectives that could sound potentially inappropriate. That's what this car is. That's what we got going on. And El Chapo, the Honda Mino, glossed out, looking so drippy, icy. I am so happy with this thing, man. This roof had holes in it, it had dents in it, it was absolutely abysmal to begin with. So even doing that flow coat, because keep in mind, we did clear coat, sanded that clear coat smooth, and then re-cleared it even though we didn't do any color on it. So by doing the color and all of that stuff, it actually made everything else that much better as well. The hood was already good, now the car is complete. There are a couple things that I'm missing. Side view mirrors, I still need to buy them. Those will just go championship white. I'm not gonna get crazy and kind of mix in the yellow, orange, white. They can just go white, it's fine, don't worry about that. So we still have, the grille doesn't need to be painted. I'm just kind of thinking out loud, working through it, what I need to do and what I wanna do next. So I think logically, I'm gonna do the bumpers. I have a little bit of work to do on them, kind of smooth over some holes, figure out what I want to do. I'm going to be doing the bumpers black to kind of stay in line with the gradient. We have yellow, orange, red, maroon, dark maroon, black. I think that'll look really good. I like that. We're going to go black with all of the trim as well. There are so many pieces that I'm still missing for this car. Then we got to get into building out the interior. We got some holes in the dash. We got to make door panels. I need to get windows, outside door handles, carpet, headliner. There are so many things still missing on this car, but we got over that last major hurdle, which was painting this thing, and I'm so excited on how it came out. So let's go ahead and turn our focus into getting those bumpers cleaned up, scuffed, worked, and eventually painted. So what we have going on right this second is we have the two bumpers, rear bumper, front bumper. The front bumper got tucked in a little bit so that way that could look a lot better. The back bumper, we're just running it how it goes, and I like that. I was thinking about doing a roll pan on this thing, but really it kind of gets to a point sometimes where it's like, let's just get this thing going, right? So I want to go with my direct to metal DTM primer, which I already got mixed up at a 4:1 mix ratio. So I scuffed this whole thing down. First of all, we washed it with a degreaser. Then I came back with a 180 just to scuff the surface up really nicely. I want to make sure my direct to metal primer really adheres to the surface, and I'm confident that 180 is a nice decent scratch. After we go with the direct to metal primer, if I need to do any more body work or push out any more dents or do anything like that, we will get that figured out and eventually finish this off with the black. What I need to do first is to get this direct to metal primer going. so we got those bumpers knocked out relatively quickly. I was thinking about shaving where all the moldings go, but I think what I'm gonna do is maybe just keep an eye out for some of the moldings, and if I don't get them back right away, or if I don't get any moldings right away, it's really no big deal. I can just, like I said, I can just find some on eBay or do whatever I gotta do. So what I wanna work towards now is since I have the car painted, it's cleared. Let me be careful and not scratch anything. I want to go ahead and worry about getting the intercooler set up, run my piping for that. And running my piping for that, I'm going to have to be doing some aluminum welding. And speaking of welders, this past weekend, my buddy Peter from HTP came over here, gave me a great introduction to TIG welding, got me set up. I'm super appreciative for those lessons. So with you right now, I want to go into a little bit of that footage, and then once we get caught back up to exactly where we are right this second, we will worry about getting the intercooler put on, and then running the intercooler piping. I also picked up a fab table as well the other day, something that I definitely needed. I don't need to be doing all kinds of welding super uncomfortably on a crazy garage sale fold-up table. So this looks good, nice transition. We have this piece painted, that's why it needed to be on there, because we have this side that matches. I'm gonna get this thing figured out. You'll check out some of that footage and we'll keep this thing rolling. All right, so right now this is something that I have been looking forward to for quite a while. We got Peter, and thank you for coming out, Peter. I really appreciate it, man. I know it's been a long time coming since we've been talking about the machines, TIG welding, MIG welding. I've had my MIG, the 220 that I've been using for a while. That's a absolute
successful using.
Yes.
Yes, it improved your whole flow and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I did not realize that that machine was going to make me weld so much better if I took my time, learned how to use it, and you've coached me through it and making a lot of good changes that have helped me out with all of the projects that I've done in the last, what, year and a half? Year and a half?
Yeah,
or so,
year and a half, yeah.
So that new machine has been the MVP. You sent me out a TIG as well that I've just been kind of leaning off to the side until we can get to it. And
well, we're getting to it now, yes.
Yeah. So what do you think? Let's get the machine set up, and then I'm going to take your lead. Whatever you think we should do. I have some piping over here, like intercooling pipe, that I need to do for the Honda El Camino, for the intercooler. And what do you think? If we can weld on that, you think I can weld on other stuff?
If you weld on that, you can weld on anything.
Okay.
It's a round shape. It's harder to weld than a flat plate. So if you can weld on that, you can weld flat plate. And if you can weld thin material, you can weld thick material too.
Okay, cool.
So this is the HTP 221. This is like our classic. We've had this since 2009. Arc dynamic is phenomenal. User interface is only so intuitive.
Okay.
And then since you never really TIG welded, I said, hold off on it. Don't get any bad habits. Don't get the wrong idea. And then today I made the 1,300 mile drive, and I've made it here, and let's set it up. And
we weren't thinking this was going to happen because of that hurricane, but luckily it happened.
Luckily it happened.
We bounced back pretty quickly, and I like the idea of just leave it off to the side, don't even touch it, because now that you're going to be able to teach me, I've been looking forward to it. So it's going to change my projects up in the shop for the better, definitely, to get my hands on some TIG stuff. So I guess what I'm going to do, we'll get the machine set up. I'm going to throw it on a time lapse here because we got. Well, what do we got? What do we all have to hook up? We got to hook up a torch.
We have to hook up a torch, a ground, a gas hose, a regulator, foot pedal, and that's it.
Okay, and I got everything laid out for us, just as you sent me about a year and a half ago. Regulator here, gas is there, the pedal, the torch. I think we're pretty good to go.
This was your weld from here on towards you. You see bleed through in this part, but not in here. So this is just about the right temperature. not stacked too cold, but not like annihilating everything underneath it.
Yeah, okay.
Now I'll keep it rolling. I'm gonna show you how to build stuff up. There's the BodeVision man.
Yeah.
He's walking down that pipe.
That's crazy. That's cool. With the head and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's how good you can control it. And that's why, when do you want to prefer TIG over MIG? When you need control.
So huge shout out to Peter from HTP for coming out. If you're looking for high-end European welding equipment, make sure to check out HTP. I've got a link down below. Their customer service through the buying process and after, that after is key. A lot of companies, you just buy something, then you're on your way. If you would like to check them out, go ahead and hit that website or give them a call if you got any questions. Thanks again, HTP. Super hyped for this. So here we are making great progress. Let me show you what all we got going on. I am super excited for this. And we got to work on some intercooler piping. And as you can see, this right here is initially more joints than I was anticipating because we have our AC line in the way. I was thinking just going over, up, and over. But we have a joint right there. We have a joint right there too, but as you can see, the fit and finish is phenomenal. I wanted to take my time doing that because as someone who's only been TIG welding aluminum for a few days, I got all my settings right. Peter from HTP got me right. He got me dialed in. Now all I need to do is get it dialed in. So if you guys could go easy on me, I'm going to give this a shot. Something with my projects that I like to do is I like to do every aspect of it. If these welds turn out really shoddy and I want to redo them in the future after I get some more seat time, I can, but I think I'm confident enough to say I just did one practice weld before I turned on the camera, but I think I'm confident enough to make it happen. I just did one practice weld before I turned on the camera. So with my practice right there, let's move on to the real thing. I'm gonna make a couple marks, figure it out, and then I'm gonna get all set up and do the welds that matter. Also, another thing is I have to weld this in line somewhere too, and I can, I'll get that figured out. with all this TIG welding, me TIG welding for the first time, or TIG welding anything that matters for the first time, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I had to weld. So we have this guy down there, a joint right there for the blow-off valve, and then a joint right there. So we have 90, 45, joint, and joint. And then over here, I had to extend this a little bit. If you can see, that looks pretty good. You can see I started coming towards me in one area, away from me in the other area. That's a little bit troublesome right in there. Will it hold the little bit of boost that I'm going to be throwing at this thing? I am very confident that it will. No problem. So we have a whole bunch of things that I am cramming in here. We have intercooler piping ran, not at the bottom. I still need to run my dump tube or dump pipe off the wastegate, so I have some stainless coming that I am still waiting on, and we are really getting this thing put together. So what I want to do right now is we have the front little nose piece right there. I want to get that put on, maybe get the grill thrown on, maybe get the bumper thrown on, so that way we can get a really good look of what we are getting into. I'm not going to throw this stuff on for the final time because a little bit more fabrication is still needed off of the wastegate, but we at least need to see the satisfaction of this thing coming back together with the black bumpers and the grill and everything else. Man, I'm so excited that we are kind of coming to the end of a lot of this stuff. So here we go, full circle with this thing, right back from where we started at the beginning of this video, and this thing is looking so phenomenal. We got the bumpers black. That was a big thing. Keep in mind that bumper was sectioned, so we got that working. The back bumper is all blacked out, looking really good. I like how the black goes along with the gradient, and all of that is looking oh so fresh. So what else? I don't want to finalize the front end, but I kind of wanted to put it together so that way we can have a really good look at it. But like I mentioned a little bit ago, I'm still doing a little bit of work. We have the stainless steel downpipe that I need to build, so I'm waiting for that to get here. We got to get wheels for this thing. I've had 2 sets of wheels throughout the entire build of this project. The most recent set being a set of Mustang wheels that I got sitting over there. Let me grab one. These guys, they are super cool, but I'm just not feeling them for some reason. And I think a JDM Classic, whether it be a Work or an SSR or anything else, if you have something like that that you think would be good for this project, leave a comment down below letting me know, then I will get in contact with you. So I'm looking for maybe like a 17-inch wheel, 5x114.3, something 3-piece, maybe even some TE37s would look cool. Just let me know what you think also down below. Hit the link if you still want to win that 1965 GMC 2500 shop truck, as you still have a chance to win that thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think of everything down below. And also huge thanks to Peter and HTP Welders. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.